Hey, it's Shay Keister, and I'm your host and the founder of Casual Cattle Conversations, a global rancher education company that strives to bring honest thoughts and conversations from ranchers and leaders to other ranchers. Be sure to follow Cattle Convos on social media to have more in-depth conversations around the ranching business and lifestyle brought to you. If you are ready to take your operation to the next level and improve your lifestyle too, send me a message about my Rancher Mind group. Rancher Minds are monthly roundtable discussions for ranchers to learn from peers and experts and leave the call with actionable advice to make changes on their own operations. With that, let's see who our guest is today and what experience and advice they have to offer you to improve your own operation.
Well, thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to have you on the show. I know this is our first time talking, but I have visited with your brother a little bit. So to start off, would you really share what your background in the ranching space is and how you got started?
Thank you for having me, Shay. Basically, I'm a fifth generation cattle rancher in the northern part of Chihuahua, Mexico. Our family moved here in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and we've been ranching in this area ever since, going on almost 100 years now. But my personal background, while I was born at the ranch, raised at the ranch, basically this is all I know. When I first started actually managing the ranch, I was fresh out of high school. I mean, it hasn't been that long. I didn't go to college. I didn't really want to go to college. So, well, the ranch was the second best thing to do. So I started managing the ranch in 2016. I'm only 24 years old, and well, since then we've started with more intensive grazing practices, more regenerative grazing practices here at the ranch, and we've been able to maximize our profits by doing so.
How has the conditions of your pastures changed with these holistic approaches?
Well, we've been able to increase our carrying capacity by three times as much. So, I mean, that gives you an idea the quality of forage we have now. We don't give any protein. I mean, it's strictly grass fed beef. I mean, we don't give any other type of forage, just the grass that we grow. During the winter, we graze all year round. And our area is a semi-arid area. We get from anywhere from 15 to 18 inches of rain a year. But we do have some drought years, like in 2020, we got 4 inches of rain, and we could still double our carrying capacity without having that much rain. So as far as our pastures, I mean, you can see the difference in a heartbeat. And well, the numbers are there to show that this type of management actually works. And I mean, for a ranch in this area to run as much cattle as we do, it's one in 100. So, I mean, that's we've seen the benefits.
So what is your stocking right now, or what does your carrying capacity look like now that you said you've increased the amount of cattle you can run by 3 times? So what does that look like for you?
In this area, people usually run from 12 to 15 hectares per cow per year. We use a metric system in Mexico. Acres would be about roughly 20 acres per cow per year. And we're running 3 hectares per cow per year, which is roughly about 7 acres per cow per year.
Wow. So what are your forage types there? What are some of those native forages that you're grazing?
we have perennial grasses, blue grama, black grama, red grama. Uh, we've counted up to 20 different types of species here at the ranch. I mean, they're all mostly all perennials. We have very little annuals. The high quality forages that keep their protein year round, and with the right rest period, it really helps the cattle eat a better diet. When you have I mean, stockpiled forages, it helps their nutrition like you can't imagine.
So there are multiple different ways to implement regenerative practices when you look at grazing. What models are you looking at? I'm sure you've kind of adapted it to your own ranch and what works, as many people do, but really, when you say you are implementing regenerative practices, what does that look like for you on a daily basis?
Here at the ranch, we have over 500 paddocks, give or take. All those 500 paddocks, we make them year round with polywire. Everything we use is portable, so it has our infrastructure is so portable. We can pick up and move wherever we want, and at a very low cost. So we build over 500 paddocks a year. We move daily. Sometimes we move even 4 or 5 times a day. So it's highly intensive, so we can get the best out of our forage, use it properly, and rest it properly also. So out of those 500 paddocks, we have a rotation of about 425 days of rest per paddock. So I mean, our per paddock, we have a time period. We use it maybe 6 hours for every 420 days. So our rest period is what's making this work.
Wow. So you talked about how you're constantly on the move, moving cattle. How many employees, how many people do you have working on your operation to manage this workload then?
It's only me, and I have a one hired hand. But other than that, we're running, I mean, in between me and my hired help, we're running over 500 cows, and we have about 200 stalkers here at the ranch right now. So there's quite a bit of work, but I mean, when you're organized, and since you move them every single day, it cuts down on your on basically checking the cattle health wise. Since you see them every day, I mean, it simplifies everything. Most people think because of moving once a day, it's going to be a lot more difficult, but honestly, it's a lot simpler than moving every 15 days or every 20 days. And your paddocks are a lot smaller, so it's easy to get around your paddocks with polywire in a day, and just keep it portable, keep it simple. And well, I don't have that much help, but we have a well organized ranch, well fueled ranch, I guess.
So what are some processes you've implemented to make putting up that polywire faster, easier, just make the whole process more efficient?
What we usually do is make instead of having like your typical wagon wheel or having something permanent, basically we go with what our land gives us. So all our fences go off of the terrain. Most of our ranch is flat, so basically we just build small squares, and then we have water in every single paddock. So the water, it's all piped. We have a pipeline, a 2-inch pipeline that goes throughout the ranch, and from there, when we're grazing the animals, we can connect our portable water trough to wherever we need the pipe, the water for cattle.
So with that, do you do any lease out any recreation activities on the ranch or do anything on that front in addition to this? Or do you just, I mean, is it just, are you a commercial operation? What does that look like for you guys?
Basically, it's a commercial operation. What we do, basically it's cow calf, and once we wean our calves, we export them to the U.S. So we export live cattle to the U.S. Other recreational activities we do. There's a little bit of hunting. I mean, whitetail hunting, turkeys. But other than that, it's purely just cow calf. And we might run a little stockers here and there, but basically just cow calf.
Okay, so have these grazing practices benefited? Have you seen a large benefit in the amount of wildlife present, the availability of hunting on your ranch?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what's happening? We're basically building a microclimate here at the ranch that is helping us with all types of wildlife biodiversity. We also work with a lot of conservation services. Basically, any migratory birds that come to our ranch, it's a conservation, so we can take care of those animals that need the habitat. And we've been working with the Rocky Mountain Bird Conservancy for the past 4 years, I think. And basically what they do is take care of all the migratory bird species that come from the Rockies down to Mexico. And that's a big part of our goal here at the ranch to at least leave what we have better than when we got it.
I think that's an awesome point, to leave things better than when you found them, and something a lot of ranchers try to do. So with that, kind of looking back at, the types of practices you're using, what resources do you go to continue your learning? What did that process look like as you got started? Who did you turn to for advice?
First, I turned to my dad. Obviously, he was when the holistic management movement came to Mexico, he was one of the first pioneers. So I turned to my dad a lot, and also the Savory Institute helps a lot, and Ranching for Profit. I'm a ex-alumni from Ranching for Profit, which it helps a lot when you're trying to run a business that, well, it's you're running a business off of what nature gives you, and you're trying to manage resources that can be bettered, improved, but knowing how to do it is key. And I mean, here, fortunately, here in Mexico and Chihuahua, there's quite a few people that are practicing regenerative agriculture, regenerative ranching, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of people here in Chihuahua, in my state, that are actually doing it. And basically, what we all have a group chat, and we just bounce ideas off of each other. But any type of thing you want to learn, I highly recommend to take courses and learn about it.
Well, that's exciting. So what mindset do ranchers need to have when they are starting to get into regenerative grazing and really embrace that style of ranch management?
I think they need to change their paradigm first. I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions of ranching, especially here in Chihuahua. A lot of people think it's too dry, it can't be done here, but they're just all paradigms you need to change. And once you start actually moving daily and get the hang of it, well, there's no better way to actually do it than doing it. And I mean, your failures are going to be what's it called? It's going to be like your school. I mean, it's going to teach you what not to do. But just changing your paradigms, the way you think, it has a lot to do with running a ranch this way.
Well, awesome. Do you have any last advice for those who are interested in improving their grazing methods, or any last comments you'd like to share before we finish up today?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people get stuck on yeah, I want to do the change, but they don't know how to start the change. I would recommend getting a consultant, having someone consult you first, so you don't make the same mistakes like I did or anyone else did. And yeah, some people might say the consultants are expensive or they charge too much, but he'll give you a helping hand once you start. And then once you have a consultant, then I highly recommend keeping everything portable. I mean, there's no sense in dumping a bunch of money when you can actually do it with portable polywire, portable posts. So you're gonna basically be changing one thing for another. You're gonna be changing sweat for an improvement, or changing money for infrastructure. So I highly recommend just making everything portable. The more portable you have it, the more flexibility you have to graze wherever you can, or in points of opportunity throughout your ranch. But other than that, I mean, just it's time to change the way we think, and it's time to change the way we ranch.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm excited to share this with my audience and appreciate all that you had to share.
Thank you for having me, Shane.
And that's a wrap on that one. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on the episode, and if you have any further questions around the topic. Take care and have a great day.